Ladies and gentlemen, God said, I will not give you a dream without the power to achieve it. Success is not about IQ, it's about the ability to deal with failure. Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. You worry about what others think, why they weren't with you at 2 a.m. when you cried alone. Your greatest asset is time, and it's slipping. If you don't work hard for your dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. That truth will haunt you forever. Dreams come with the power to achieve them. This idea is not merely poetic. It's deeply practical and empowering. When a human being dares to dream, something profound happens within. The dream itself becomes a spark, a signal, a direction. It isn't a random fantasy or an empty wish. It is in many ways an assignment, a whisper from destiny, or a pull from purpose. The very act of dreaming is a sign that something greater is already stirring in your spirit, that potential is awakening, and that your journey has a shape. Many people look at dreams as distant illusions, especially when they are surrounded by struggle or weighed down by failure. They question their abilities, compare themselves with others, and drown in the noise of doubt. But what if that dream was not a random image, but a coded message embedded in your soul by something higher? What if every vision you see when your eyes are closed is a glimpse of what's possible when your heart is open? The world may tell you that you're too small, too late, or not enough, but the dream itself is proof that you're already equipped with something powerful. The dream chose you, and because it chose you, it is yours to build. There's a reason the dream feels so personal. It is not an accident. It is not a coincidence. Dreams are tailored to your strengths, your pain, your background, and your unique potential. Some people are meant to solve problems no one else dares to touch. Others are designed to build what the world has never seen. You were not born to copy others. You were born to carve a path that only you can walk. That dream that keeps you up at night, the one that haunts you in the quiet moments, is not there to torment you. It is there to activate you. It is there to stretch your capacity, test your resolve, and refine your spirit. Every dream will demand something from you. It will require patience, courage, and sacrifice. It will push you to evolve. That's because the power to achieve it is not always visible at the start. It's not sitting on the surface. It must be drawn out. It must be forged through discipline, failure, and repetition. The dream and the power are connected, but the power often sleeps until the dream is pursued. When you begin moving, when you say yes to the uncomfortable road, something within you begins to grow. You will not recognize yourself after a few years of radical commitment. You will become the person capable of fulfilling the very dream that once scared you. People often wait until they feel ready to chase a dream, not realizing that readiness is a myth. The power is not in waiting, it's in starting. Every successful person began before they were prepared. They felt the fear and did it anyway. That's how power is unlocked. It's not waiting in some future moment when everything is perfect. It's buried in action, in consistency, in faith. You'll find the strength while climbing, not before you start the climb. You'll discover the courage on the battlefield, not while reading the strategy in your room. There is a fire in every person that can only be lit by pursuing a dream. Without it, life becomes survival. Without a dream, a person drifts through routines and forgets the magic of creation. But with it, every day becomes a mission. You begin to see obstacles as training, critics as mirrors, and delays as lessons. The dream teaches you how to think, how to speak, how to lead, how to fight, and how to rise. It reshapes your identity. You no longer ask, can I do this? You begin to say, I was made for this. Still, the path is not easy. The dream doesn't exempt you from hardship, it invites it. And that is where the real power shows up. When you're tested, when you fail, when you want to quit but take another step, that's when the dream begins to breathe. It starts to take form. Your effort becomes a foundation, your tears become mortar, your setbacks become scaffolding. Every painful moment builds you. Every no sharpens your yes. You must understand that greatness is hidden behind repetition, and success is usually disguised as struggle. You will lose friends. You will be misunderstood. You will question your sanity. And yet the dream remains. Why? Because it is not external. It lives inside you. You carry it. It beats in your chest like a second heart. That is the proof of its power. If it came from outside, it could be taken away. But this dream is embedded in your design, and with it, so is the strength to complete it. No one else can see the full picture the way you can. They weren't shown what you were shown. They didn't feel what you felt, so you can't depend on others to validate it. You must protect the dream like a fire in a storm. Others may laugh or doubt you. That's okay. The dream isn't theirs, it's yours. And so is the power to fulfill it. The people you admire most, the ones whose names are remembered, all started in places just like you. Ordinary, unnoticed, unsure, but they dared to believe that the dream meant something. And they were right. You were not given a dream to tease you. It wasn't placed in your heart so that life could mock you with what you'll never have. That's not how dreams work. They are not decorations. They are directions. And the very existence of the dream is your confirmation that you have what it takes to begin. Will it be hard? Absolutely. Will it take time? Without a doubt. But will you regret trying? Never. The only thing worse than failure is the regret of never trying at all. What the dream demands from you, it also gives to you. What it awakens in you cannot be bought or borrowed. It must be earned, lived, and endured. You may not have money, connections, or status, but if you have the dream, you already have something. Most people never find purpose. And with purpose comes energy. With purpose comes clarity. With purpose comes resilience. People with a dream don't need to be pushed. They are pulled by vision. They don't run from storms. They grow in them. They don't fear failure. They use it. The power that lies within a dreamer is a dangerous kind of fire. It burns away laziness. It consumes excuses. It melts fear. All that remains is will. Each day you wake up and remember your dream, you have a choice. Ignore it and shrink, or honor it and rise. Every decision you make feeds the dream or starves it. Every habit you build either supports your purpose or sabotages it. The power to achieve is not a one-time burst. It is a lifestyle. A dreamer must live with discipline, vision, and faith even when no one sees them. Especially when no one sees them. Because that's where champions are made, in silence, in sweat, in struggle. You will not always be motivated. You will not always feel inspired. But if the dream is real, your commitment must outlast your emotions. You don't need to be the smartest or the strongest. You just need to be the one who refuses to quit. That decision alone will unlock more doors than talent ever could. What you lack in resources, you can make up for in resourcefulness. What you lack in experience, you can make up for in consistency. The dream gives you direction, but your daily effort gives it life. Every step forward, no matter how small, activates the power inside you. Every small victory builds momentum. You may not see progress every day, but every day you choose the dream grows. Success depends on resilience, not intelligence. It's a common mistake to assume that those who succeed are simply smarter than everyone else. People often associate achievement with IQ, test scores, degrees, and impressive resumes. But the truth, repeatedly proven by life and by history, is that intelligence alone does not guarantee anything. There are people with incredible intellect who remain stuck, paralyzed by fear, by perfectionism, or by the inability to handle adversity. On the other hand, there are people who may not be naturally brilliant, but they rise because they keep getting back up. Resilience is the ability to endure hardship, to recover from failure, to push forward even when there's no applause, no clear sign of victory, and no guarantee of success. It's the ability to take rejection not as a personal attack, but as redirection. It's the capacity to treat every setback as a lesson, not a verdict. The road to success is never smooth. It is littered with obstacles, disappointments, and false starts. Intelligence might help you plan the journey, but only resilience will keep you on the path when everything goes wrong. In the real world, problems don't come with instructions. Life does not hand you a multiple choice question and ask for the right answer. Life throws you curveballs, betrayal, uncertainty, and loss. It tests your will more than your logic. Resilience is what allows a person to keep showing up when the motivation is gone, when no one is watching, when everyone else has given up. That is when greatness is built, not in moments of comfort, but in seasons of struggle. Think of every story of success you've ever heard. The common thread is not intelligence, it is perseverance. The entrepreneur who failed 5 times before the 6th idea changed the industry. The athlete who was told they weren't good enough, but trained harder than anyone else. The artist whose work was rejected over and over until one person finally saw the value. Behind every achievement, There is a battle, and the winner is not the smartest, it's the one who stayed in the fight. Resilience gives you the power to transform pain into power. It turns criticism into fuel. It makes you mentally unshakable. While intelligence may help you understand a problem, resilience is what helps you live through the solution. Intelligence can calculate risk, but resilience takes them. Intelligence can spot patterns, but resilience builds habits. And in a world that's constantly changing, filled with uncertainty, and shaped by complexity, the ones who succeed are the ones who adapt. Being smart may open a door, but it's your resilience that keeps it open. Many people with great talent get one opportunity and lose it because they can't handle pressure, they break under criticism, or they crumble when things go off plan. Success requires the ability to pivot, to rise again, to adjust, and still keep your purpose clear. Resilience is not about being emotionless or pretending you're invincible. It's about feeling the pain and continuing anyway. It's about using the disappointment as a stepping stone, not a full stop. You can learn resilience. It's a muscle, not a fixed trait. It grows through experience, discomfort, and effort. Every time you fail and try again, you're building it. Every time you hear now and keep moving, it gets stronger. Resilience teaches you that rejection is not fatal and that progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. It teaches you that temporary loss is not permanent defeat. Some of the most intelligent people sabotage themselves because they fear failure. They don't start unless everything is perfect. They don't risk unless the odds are guaranteed. But those who succeed take imperfect action, they move forward despite the unknown. They are willing to look foolish, to start at zero, to be misunderstood. That courage does not come from IQ. It comes from heart, from grit, from resilience. The world rarely rewards potential. It rewards execution, and execution demands resilience. Every dream worth pursuing will stretch you. You'll be challenged by time, by money, by people who don't believe in you. You'll have to fight through confusion, imposter syndrome, loneliness, and days where nothing works. Your intelligence might help you figure out the strategy, but your resilience is what gives you the stamina to follow through. In school, intelligence often gets celebrated. In life, it's resilience that decides who wins. The people who thrive are not the ones with perfect scores. They're the ones who refuse to surrender. They ask for help when needed. They fall, but get back up. They're honest about their limits, but committed to their growth. And every time life tests them, they become stronger. When you build resilience, you become dangerous in the best way. Not because you never fail, but because failure doesn't stop you. You don't need ideal conditions. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Every person who ever accomplished anything extraordinary had moments of doubt, fear, and failure. But they kept moving. They were not the smartest in every room, but they were often the most consistent. You don't have to be a genius to win. You have to outlast your excuses. You have to keep working when it's boring, when it's frustrating, when it feels like nothing's happening. The results may take time, but your effort compounds. Resilience compounds. It builds strength layer by layer, day by day. And before long, you're no longer just surviving, you're thriving in conditions that used to break you. Resilience means doing the right thing even when the reward isn't immediate. It means trusting the process when the results aren't visible. It means betting on yourself again and again, even after you lose. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a relentless mindset. A refusal to stay down, oh, that doesn't shatter with struggle. You'll be underestimated. People may ignore you at first, but your resilience will speak louder than any words. While others quit at the first sign of pressure, you'll be the one who adapts, grows, and keeps coming back. That consistency becomes your reputation. That persistence becomes your power. You'll earn trust, not just from others, but from yourself. You'll realize that your worth is not tied to success or failure, but to your willingness to endure, to rise, to keep going. Resilience turns pressure into performance. It transforms pain into patience. It refines your character, not just your results. And in a world full of distractions, setbacks, and fast exits, the one who keeps building is the one who eventually breaks through, not because they always knew the answers, but because they refused to be defined by the obstacles. They chose resilience over regret. They chose to stay in the game. They chose to rise when it was easier to run. They chose to believe when belief was the only thing left. Time is your most valuable asset. It is the one resource that, once spent, can never be earned back. Money can be regained, energy can be restored, opportunities can come again. But time, once gone, is gone forever. Every second that passes is a silent exchange. You trade it for whatever you are doing in that moment. And yet most people treat time like it's unlimited, like they can waste it and somehow retrieve it later. But the truth is, time is slipping away from all of us, silently, invisibly, and irreversibly. We are given the same 24 hours as the most successful people in the world. No one gets extra time. The only difference is how we use it. Some invest it, some waste it, some plan it, some drift through it. The difference between a fulfilled life and a frustrated one is not found in the clock. It's found in the choices. Time management is not just a skill, it's a mindset. It reflects your values, your priorities, and your discipline. When you don't value your time, you allow distractions to dictate your day. You say yes to things that don't matter, and you end up busy, but not productive, active, but not impactful. There is a quiet danger in wasting time because the consequences are not immediate. Time doesn't punish you like a bank account that hits zero. You don't feel the loss right away, but over weeks, months, and years, it accumulates. You wake up one day wondering where the time went. You look back and realize the things you wanted to do, build, or become were always waiting for the right moment, the perfect conditions, or for motivation to strike. But the truth is, the right moment is never guaranteed, and the clock doesn't pause for indecision. The most dangerous thing you can do with your time is to live on autopilot. To wake up and go through the motions without intention, to scroll through hours of distraction, to commit your time to things that do not serve your vision, your growth, or your purpose. Time lost to habits that drain you is more than wasted minutes. It is lost progress, lost momentum, lost opportunity. Every day you delay action is a day someone else moves closer to what you say you want. Time is a mirror. How you spend it reflects who you are becoming. If you want to change your life, you must first change how you use your time. Every goal, every dream, every transformation begins with reclaiming the hours you've been giving away too easily. You must protect your time like your future depends on it, because it does. The minutes you spend on growth compound. The hours you invest in your craft, in your health, in your purpose, those are seeds that eventually grow into harvest. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. Success is not built in dramatic, once-in-a-lifetime bursts of action. It is built in daily discipline, showing up every day and using even one focused hour with purpose. Time used correctly is a multiplier. It takes small, consistent efforts and turns them into mastery, results, and freedom. But when used carelessly, it becomes a thief, stealing not just your potential, but your peace. Time doesn't just affect your goals, it affects your identity. How you use your time shapes your habits, and your habits shape your character. If you spend your time avoiding challenges, you become someone who fears growth. If you spend it watching others live their dreams, you become someone who doubts their own. But if you spend your time building, learning, and moving forward, you become someone powerful, someone focused, someone unstoppable. One of the greatest tragedies is seeing talented people waste their time. Talent without discipline becomes regret. Potential without action becomes frustration. You may have the gifts, the ideas, the ambition, but if you don't honor your time, none of that matters. The graveyard is full of people who had potential but ran out of time. Not because their lives were short, but because their focus was scattered. They waited for signs. They waited for guarantees. And while they waited, life moved on. Distractions are the enemy of time. Social media, mindless entertainment, drama comparison. These things don't just waste your time. They steal your clarity. They make you forget what matters. They fill your mind with noise. To reclaim your time, you must become ruthless about your environment. You must learn to say no. You must set boundaries. You must disconnect from things that pull you away from your purpose. Not because you're better than anyone else, but because your time is sacred. People will ask for your time freely. They'll pull you into their problems, their emergencies, their plans. But you must remember, your time is yours. If you don't guard it, others will use it for their benefit, not yours. That doesn't mean you become cold or selfish. It means you become intentional. You prioritize what aligns with your goals. You commit to what supports your growth. You don't say yes out of guilt. You say yes out of conviction. Every minute counts. It's not about being perfect with your time. It's about being honest. Ask yourself, where is my time going? What habits are consuming it? What people are influencing it? What choices are shaping it? Audit your time the way you would audit your finances. Know where it's going. Eliminate waste. Redirect your energy. Create systems that help you stay focused. Build a routine that serves your vision, not your mood. Time rewards the focused. It punishes the distracted. The world is full of noise, but your success depends on your ability to cut through it, to prioritize what matters most, to trade comfort for commitment, to exchange fleeting pleasures for long-term gain. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. The people who achieve greatness are not superhuman. They are simply consistent. They decide what matters and they give their time to it every day. They don't let setbacks derail their schedule. They don't wait for motivation. They don't let failure steal their focus. They use time as a tool, as a weapon, as a currency. And because of that, time begins to serve them instead of slipping away from them. Your future is being built right now, minute by minute. You are not waiting for the right opportunity. You are creating it with how you spend your time. You are not stuck. You are simply not using time in a way that unlocks your progress. The truth is, the life you want is on the other side of consistent, intentional action. And that action is powered by time. Time is the builder of legacies, the fuel of growth, the foundation of transformation. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Most people fear failure as if it is the final destination, a sign that they are not good enough, smart enough, or destined for greatness. But the truth is, failure is not the end. It's the beginning. Every successful person you admire has a history of failure that shaped their journey. They did not succeed despite their failures. They succeeded because of them. Failure is not a sign to stop, but a signal to learn, adapt, and keep going. It teaches lessons that success cannot. It humbles, sharpens, and builds resilience. It reveals what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, who you are when things fall apart. In school, failure is seen as a mistake. In life, it's often a requirement. You cannot grow without taking risks, and every risk carries the possibility of failure. If you want to achieve something meaningful, you must be willing to stumble, to fall, to be misunderstood, to be judged, to be rejected. Growth does not come from staying safe. It comes from stepping into the unknown, trying, and failing forward. The greatest breakthroughs in history came after the greatest breakdowns. Failure is the forge of greatness, the fire where champions are formed. Too many people stop at failure. They take it personally. They make it about their identity. But failure is not who you are. It's what happened. It is an event, not a definition. When you detach your worth from your outcomes, you gain the power to rise from any fall. The strongest minds in the world are not afraid to fail because they understand that failing is not losing, it's learning. They know that the path to mastery is paved with missteps. That every setback carries with it the seeds of a greater comeback. There is no shortcut to excellence that avoids failure. You can study, prepare, and plan perfectly, but real growth only comes when you act. And when you act, you will fall. You will face resistance. You will make the wrong choice. But every time you fail, you gain clarity. You understand the game better. You refine your skills. You build emotional strength. Most importantly, you eliminate the illusion that success is supposed to be easy, because it's not. Success is hard. That's what makes it valuable. You cannot skip failure if you want to succeed. If you try to avoid failure, you also avoid progress. Playing it safe may keep you comfortable, but it will never take you to your potential. The comfort zone is a silent killer of dreams. It convinces you that staying still is the best option. But staying still is not safety, it's stagnation. To grow, you must move. To move, you must risk. And to risk is to open yourself to failure. But the reward is worth it. The person you become on the other side of failure is stronger, wiser, and more capable. The greatest success stories are built on foundations of failure. Walt Disney was fired for lacking creativity. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Steve Jobs was ousted from the company he built. These failures were not the end of their stories. They were the turning points. They became the moments that forced reinvention, reflection, and redirection. And because they did not stop at failure, they became legends. Your story can follow the same pattern if you choose to respond instead of retreat. Failure removes the unnecessary. It cuts through illusion. When you fail, you see who truly supports you. You learn who you are without the applause. You develop grit, focus, and humility. These traits are more valuable than talent. They sustain you in the long game, because real success is not a moment. It's a process. It's the accumulation of many small wins earned through many painful lessons. It's a long road, and only those who can endure the setbacks reach the summit. The pain of failure is temporary. The regret of not trying is permanent. You can recover from mistakes, but you can't recover the time lost to fear. The worst kind of failure is not the one that happens when you try and fall. It's the one that comes from never trying at all. That's the kind of failure that haunts you. It's the voice in your head asking, what if? That's the failure that buries potential and silences purpose. But when you take action, even if you fall, you silence that voice. You replace fear with facts. You find out what you're made of. Failure also gives you perspective. It helps you appreciate success when it comes. It keeps you grounded. It teaches you to celebrate progress, not just perfection. It reminds you that growth is not always visible, and that the most important changes happen internally. How you think, how you react, how you lead. These are shaped more by failure than by victory, because when you win, you celebrate. When you fail, you analyze, reflect, and evolve. That evolution makes you dangerous in the best way, more focused, more disciplined, more unstoppable. There is wisdom in failure. It teaches you how to manage pressure. It teaches you how to pivot when the plan fails. It teaches you to trust yourself even when the world doubts you. It strips away ego. It builds character. Without failure, your success would be fragile. It would lack the depth and durability that only experience can bring. The more you fail, the more you understand that failure is not your enemy. It is your instructor. Failing also exposes weaknesses you didn't know you had. It reveals blind spots. And once you see them, you can fix them. That's how you grow. You refine your process. You adapt your mindset. You become better, not just at your craft, but a leader, a thinker, a creator. Every failure gives you a new data point. It gives you feedback. And if you're willing to listen, it gives you an edge. People will always have opinions when you fail. They will laugh, they will criticize, they will question your path. Let them. They are spectators. You are in the arena. You are building something real. Their opinions don't build your future. Your resilience does. Your willingness to keep going when it's hard does. That is what separates you from the crowd. Not that you never fail, but that you never quit. You must stop treating failure like it's a sign to stop. It's a test of how badly you want it, of how deeply you believe in your vision, of how willing you are to grow. Every time you get back up, you're passing that test, and eventually failure gives up. It moves out of your way because you've proven that you cannot be broken. Failure is not something to avoid. It's something to embrace. It is proof that you are in motion, that you are alive, that you are brave enough to try. The only people who never fail are the ones who never move. They live safe, quiet lives, full of potential and empty of purpose. But those who dare to fail, those who fall and rise, those are the ones who write history. Those are the ones who change the game. Those are the ones who, in time, become unstoppable.